Hello Internet, and welcome to my review for Boruto Naruto Next Generations, episode 102. When we last left off, Suigetsu and Karin showed up to pick up Jugo, and Nue did not take kindly to Suigetsu, so Suigetsu kind of smacked, Nue around and knocked, Sumire unconscious accidentally, and then they all kind of gathered together, the whole group, once Sumire woke up, and started their infiltration of the village, where the investigative team is, who are all out by episode's end, as we'll get to. To go rescue everybody, Jugo and Konohamaru and Namida Wasabi. Sumire does that, but is caught by the boy twin. Mitsuki rescues Konohamaru before he can be assassinated in his sleep. And we find out that the true big bad is Tosaka and his full Leskainen from Steins Gate shit going on. So that was not a big draw for me. Anyway, before we go into the video itself, just a reminder, there is 1 day left on my Spring 2019 Anime Review Straw Poll in the description down below, so go down, fill that out, let me know what you want to see me covering, starting soon, this next week or so. Anyway, let's jump right on in. So we open right where we left off. Tosaka's still doing his big Leskainen twist. And the twins waste no time going into their Curse Mark 2 form to fight their respective opponents. But let's start with Tosaka and Boruto and Suigetsu. So much like last week's Next Time preview suggested, Tosaka is in the old, all for my research mold of villains. There's just a reminder of how much better a villain Orochimaru was than Tosaka. Like, Orochimaru is so good at being, it's all for research. And Tosaka's just kind of bland, let's be honest. I will eventually have one good thing to say about him. We'll get to that a little bit later. Anyway, we do find out the Land of Rivers guys are mercenaries, I think, that were hired by Tosaka to set this whole ruse up. And I think they thought they were going to sell Jugo for some kind of money. Tosaka betrays them in the end. But we'll get to that later. Before that, let's focus on the better parts of the episode. The twins fights that are much less annoying than all the shit with Tosaka. So Sumire is fighting the boy twin while her teammates recover from the serum. That's a perfectly competent fight before Nami and Wasabi show up. With Sumire countering the boy's attacks, even while she only has enough chakra to summon little chibi Nue. But it's nothing great. Until the highlight of the fucking episode. The boy twin is going on this whole, gloat of, oh yes, I can crush your kunai with my fist, and you'll never defeat me. And then he gets hammered by the crying cannon out of fucking nowhere. Long live Namida. Long live Namida. That's a pretty great bit. And moving on to so at that point the fight becomes all of Team 15 against the boy. Before we get to that, let's focus on the fight with the girl, and Sarada and Karin. So people complain a lot about how overpowered the new generation is, especially Team 7. But that's kind of tempered by, Karin, who is far from the peak of the old generation. Just, tying up the girl in 5 seconds. While all the Genin are struggling to even, leave a mark on any of the twins. Even if Karin can't hold it when she gives Sarada her chakra, it still is something that, no one else was able to do before then. My one complaint about the fight with the girl, it's a short fight, but it worked really well, is that they make it this big deal of Sarada biting Karin, as if it's this big heroic sacrifice for Karin, but, Karin's fine. She didn't sacrifice anything, she healed Sarada up real fast, to give Sarada the extra strength she needed, but there's this big dramatic music, it's this kind of, heroic sacrifice music going on. So, why? Why is that there? I don't know at all. Anyway, I do feel like people will complain about Sarada taking out the girl with one hit. I feel like I saw that complaint on the subreddit earlier. But that hit just had so much force behind it. You see her, cheeks, kind of smush back. It just looked really cool, so I can't really complain about that at all. Meanwhile, Mitsuki is with an injured Konohamaru who tells him that the Land of Rivers team's boat is anchored somewhere downriver. So they head there to try to find a cure for the curse marks. That's really all we see of them, just a quick update on their situation. Now back to Sumire. And this is probably my favorite part of the episode for what it kind of means for the show going forward. No, I will not update Java. Sorry, I record these things on my laptop, and so my laptop pops up with a random pop-up sometimes. Anyway. So it's nice. So, where was I? Lost train of thought. Thanks, Java. Thanks, Java. Yeah, so it's, my favorite part of the episode is kind of what it means for the future once we start talking about Nue and the whole shadow chakra draining thing from the first arc. So at first, just like a nice callback. Oh, right, Sumire can do that. That's not really been brought up for a long time. But like Sumire is really hesitant to do it because it's such a symbol of everything she's done wrong in her life. Of that whole time she tried to kill the entire village way back when. But to have her friends say they're willing for her to use it on them is great. It's, for one thing, it's a bond between these girls. And it's also just like, it's nice for them to have her back and not, think she's gonna... I forget, how much do they know about Sumire's whole trying to destroy the village thing back then? I know Boruto and Mitsuki know, clearly. Sarada probably knows, because she's been around them long enough. Does the rest of the Academy class know? I'm not sure, but that's not the point. The point is, that they're willing to have their chakra be drained by Nue in order to get him back to his, tiger-y form. Unfortunately, we don't get his original giant monkey form, but that's, we kind of get the implication that's coming back. And that's the highlight of the episode to me. So, I will admit, the boys' defeat felt pretty quick. But it was worth it for that moment where Nue is where the boy is beaten, slumped against the rock, and Nue runs at him and gets his tail around his neck and starts draining his chakra. And, the implications of what that means, we saw earlier in the arc, Nue is starting to kind of break free of Sumire's... Sumire is having a harder time controlling Nue than she did earlier in the series. That time it was to help Sumire as he fled the battle against Sumire's orders. But still, the fact that he's just here mercilessly draining the boy of his chakra, thankfully Sumire was able to stop him this time, but what does that bode for the future? There's a lot to come, there's a lot to think about, with what what Nue kind of bodes for the future, if he's not as reformed as Sumire is. But we'll see that going forward. Now, back to Tosaka. We need to wrap up the story with that. So Tosaka takes out the mercenaries. Because he's bringing Jugo back to his full strength, and that was not the plan. So the mercenaries are trying to fight him. He takes them out real fast by revealing that the ultimate curse mark weapon is finished. He has used it on himself. He now has the ultimate curse mark, so to speak. And we find out the reason. So Tosaka initially states that he's injecting Jugo, or making Jugo go full curse mark as some kind of final test. And it's left kind of vague as to what that is in the episode itself. The next time preview does learn that he wants to prove his curse mark is the strongest by having it go up against Jugo. So that's his current goal going into next week. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. But I did promise y'all one positive thing about Tosaka. And he has these moments where, sometimes he has this, gloating evil eye that just looks kind of dumb. But he has this, sometimes, even while he's, there's a scene near the end where he tasers Suigetsu. And he looks so, wide-eyed and innocent while he does it. It's really the most distinguishing thing about Tosaka as a villain, and I like that. I do like that part of him. It's not a big thing, and he's still definitely one of my least favorite villains of Boruto in general. But there are some good things about him. So, this episode. It's certainly a better episode than last week's. All the villains are still pretty uninteresting. They're a far cry from Ku and the Fabrications, who, as much as people have problems with them, still always had a sense that they thought they were doing the right thing, they were helping people. Their goal was always to help others. As much as it kind of got twisted by the end of their arc, that was still always their driving force. Though, even if the villains are not interesting, the fights with the twins were exciting enough to make up for that fact. Also, the twins' curse mark designs are pretty cool. We saw them already back in, I think, episode 99 or 100, I forget which, but, whatevs. The best part of the episode was, again, definitely the introduction of Nue, maybe going darker than Sumire might want him to. So that's something to look forward to, probably in future arcs, I will say. Boruto's been really good about giving, of not wrapping up all of its plot lines in any one arc. Both with, Urashiki, with the Doctor, now with Nue, even with Inojine's mind transfer jutsu way back in the Super Beast Scroll slump, had its resolution like 50 episodes later. That's the good shit Boruto's really good at. Also, that's one thing. Also, the color scheme when morning comes, that's really nice. And it looks to be very prominent in next week's episode, and I really cannot wait for that color scheme. Which is a huge nerd thing to say, but you know what? I'm here for it. So next time, Totsuka fights Jugo, Boruto fights Jugo, and the arc ends. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the episode and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or fill out my straw poll down below, or, do what makes you happy. And remember, y'all, your life is your own, okay? Bye.